Hello guys, in this video we will talk about Angular and we will see how to create your first Angular application. Create an Angular application, we need a few things to set up. So you will require Node.js. It is a JavaScript runtime built on top of Chrome's V8 engine. So you can download the latest version if it is possible, and to check whether it is installed or not, you can simply run node-v. So mine is 12.19. It will enable one more command, that is npm that is node package manager, to install other dependencies. So once node is installed, we can download Angular Cli. So Cli is a tool developed by Angular team itself. It allows us to create a new application and everything is done by the Cli itself. We will also be using Angular Material. It is a UI component library which implements Material theme. So I'll use that as well. So let's get started. So once you have installed this Node.js runtime, then you need to run this command, npm install -global, and you can write angular/cli @latest to get the latest version of the CLI. So I'll already have installed this, so I'll just skip this and I'll check the CLI version by using ng version. Okay, so let me make it big. So I have Angular 12.0.4 version installed on my system. So to create a new application in Angular, you need to specify the command ng-new, and I'll just then the project name. So specify Angular, and new project would be Angular tutorial, let's say, and this is the name of the project. Ng is coming from Angular CLI. New is the command to create a new application, and then we have the project name itself, and just press enter. So it will ask about a few things. So it is asking me to add routing, so I'll just say no as of right now, and I'll select SCSS as my styling sheet. So all the dependencies have been installed and our project is created inside this folder, Angular tutorial. So I'll just open this in in Visual Studio Code. To open Visual Code, I'll just write code dot in terminal and it should open the project folder. To run the application, we can use this command ng-serve, and it will start our server. To run the project locally, I'll just run this command ng-serve and it will start at localhost 4200. So let's just wait for this. Meanwhile, we can go through the folder directory what the project has created. So we can see the folder structure it created for the first time in our project. So there are node modules, so it contains all the dependencies related to node project. So this is a node.js project. As you can see, we have a package.json file, but we don't need it to be a node.js project because at the end it is a static JavaScript project. Once it is compiled and you are done with the development, so it will be compiled to JavaScript, so you do not need any node runtime in your server. So this is the package.json file, and as you can see, there are some dependencies available by default, and we are working with this Angular 12.2 version. Your version might differ at later point of time whenever you watch the tutorial. So these are the some of the dependencies. So if you are familiar with Node.js project, you must be aware about this. And since we are using Angular 12.2 version, we have TypeScript 4.3 version support enabled by default. So dev dependencies are used while development only. It will not go with your deployable build once you are done with the development. Okay, so let's go to the browser source directory. Here you can see we have app folder which contains this app component, one HTML file, one CSS file, then we have one spec file. We will discuss this about later. And then we have app component.ts file. So the .ts is for TypeScript. So Angular uses TypeScript as a language. And then we have app.module.ts file. And this karma is for unit testing itself, and we have ts config. So these all are the options used by TypeScript compiler while compiling this application. And then apart from source, we have assets folder. There is nothing here as of right now, but we can store images, fonts, etc. if you want to host your fonts. Otherwise we can use CDNs and images related to folder, local images if any. We have this environment.prod.ts file and this environment.ts file to set up our environment. So this contains only one flag, this production equal to false. So right now it's no use for us. And we have also polyfills. So if you want to enable support for legacy browsers, then you can go ahead and read the comment and uncomment these files which are required for legacy browsers, and this will work in Internet Explorer also. Then we have one styles.scss file. Here you put in the global style sheets. So let me check whether it is running or not. Okay, so the server has started, and let's go to localhost 4200. Okay, so this is the default boilerplate as you can see here. This is coming from app.component.html file. So Angular is a component based framework. We build small components which make some part of the UI. So component creation is depending upon you, how large you want the component to be, and depends how smaller you want to get in component creation. So and this is one. So every component by default has four files. One, the logic file. All the business logic actually goes here. Not business logic, how you maintain the UI for that particular component. So it is a simple class app component, and this contains this at the rate component decorator. So this is a decorator function. This comes from Angular core itself, as you can see from the import itself. So this is a decorator function. It specifies what type of class it is, and based upon the decorator, Angular framework add extra metadata to this particular class, and at the time of compiling it, Angular will know whether this class is a component or a directive. We will talk about this later. As you can see, we have one property in app component class, and it stores Angular tutorial. So let's check where we are using this title, and we have this template URL as well, which is the HTML part of this component, and we can define multiple styles in this style URLs array, and we can define multiple style sheet files. So this is the one that is used by app component. So basically we have nothing here right now, and if we check this, you can see here title. Okay, so if you see here title, this curly braces, and you see here this title app is running. So if we go to the browser, and you can see app is running. So this title is the property that we have specified in the TS file, and in HTML we use it like this to get the value of this title. This is known as string interpolation. So I'll just delete this, everything whatever present in the HTML file, and I'll just print the title here, and I'll save this. So it should reload, and you can see this is coming. And if I want to change something in this, I'll just say Angular tutorial and some exclamation marks. It should change and reflect there. So you can see here. And this is the module file.